how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines. Welcome back to Nerdköping. I hope you're having a good one because I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. It's been a couple of days since the last episode, and I sort of have absolutely no plan for today's episode, and that usually ends up just being kind of chill and kind of fun for me. So I'm excited to dive in and see what we end up doing. And, well, I'll be honest. To say that I have absolutely no plan is a little bit of a lie, because I have a loose idea of what I would like to get done, and it starts here by the airport, which, by the way, I made a bit of a change to. I got rid of the Colossal Order offices, and I went ahead and put in the media broadcast building, and I put in the television station, because I thought that's, I mean, they look sort of airporty. They have, you know, the antenna and stuff like that on top, which I imagine would probably be something you don't want near an airport. You probably don't want a TV station broadcasting all this stuff near an airport. But I thought it kind of looked cool. They're interesting looking buildings, and they sort of look like what I would imagine would be near an airport. It's kind of been a while since I've been to an airport, you know, with 2020 and now 2021, and it might still be a while before I can actually go and get some real reference to what airports look like. Honestly, it's been so long, I don't even believe that planes exist anymore. This right here is pretty much fiction. But with that said, I thought this looked pretty cool, and obviously just went ahead and put in a bunch of parking lots because that's a thing that I do, with a bunch of fences and paths and things like that. I just thought the area looked kind of nice. You know, I say nice. It's a couple of buildings, a bunch of paths, trees, and concrete, but it sort of fills up that space pretty well. I also did these keys around here because I thought that looked cool, and then I did some work with trees. What I also did was added a little roundabout right here, and this brings us to something that I want to touch on today, which is I want to go in here and I want to put in sort of a, not a full industrial area, but I want to do some stuff for industry that I think is going to be kind of useful, such as a couple of garbage processing plants out here, some recycling centers and things like that. So basically what I'm thinking we do is go 5 there and 5 there. I'm going to need to turn Prop and Tree Anarchy off to do this though, because I really don't want the trees in the roads. I'm going to bring this road over to about here. And then essentially what I'll do is go, I mean, what distance can I go here? We can go about 7. So we'll go 7 on this side as well. And we'll bring these roads down to, I don't know, that's about 16. This one, I guess, can go a little bit further. So we'll go 5 there. So that'll be 12 from there. This guy can come down there about 30. This guy can come across and connect up there. And basically, I'm going to sort of flatten this space out a little bit. I think what we can probably do is take out a bunch of the trees, and we'll put them back in later on. So we'll bring this brush size up a little bit and just take these guys out. In fact, we'll use the normal tree brush to do that because it'll be a little bit quicker. So just take all of these guys out. Very, very easy to add them all back in later with the forest brush. But essentially, what I'd be thinking is we grab these 4 corners right here, and we grab that intersection, and we level this whole thing to the height of, oh, we need to grab you, we need to grab you, and we need to grab you. We level this whole thing to the height of that intersection, which gives us this little bit of weirdness going on here, but I think we could probably make that work with some kind of wall, some kind of, you know, just something to make it look built up. Because I think we're going to want to put some kind of divider in here. And actually, to be totally honest, the easiest way to do that would be something like this. So we'll start with some sound barriers. But I'm still going to put something in there. It won't be a key, but it'll be something that just hides this sort of weirdness going on. As for this guy, I think we're going to just level this with that intersection there on the right. So bring it up to here, and we'll do kind of similar, maybe. In fact, what I think would look interesting is if we were to bring the terrain up to the same height as that road, because then we'll have these, we'll have this little bit of space here that we can play with. And we can have this this sort of cliff here going alongside that road, which I think looks pretty neat. So I don't hate this. I think it looks pretty good. And we'll go ahead and just fill in that area and just flatten it as well. So something like that will give me just a little bit of space to have a little bit of industry and just a couple of service buildings that we could probably have in this area. And essentially what I'm thinking is recycling centers. I think that would be a pretty good idea. I think we could probably do things like these as well, though, because I've never really played with the waste processing complex, which sends out waste transfer trucks to pick up garbage from waste transfer facilities and landfill sites for further processing into energy and recycled materials. It cannot directly collect garbage from buildings. Now, it's a pretty big building. It is a very industrial looking building as well. So this might honestly be better served literally anywhere else than this, to be completely honest. This would probably be better over in sort of this industry area here, which actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it there. I don't think it's, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What's the pollution range on you? Yeah, maybe we're not going to put you there. This looks like, it could go over here, which I forgot about, and I'll show you about in a second, because we have an oil rig there. Let's just delete this for the time being, because it has a massive pollution range, and I don't think residents are going to be too happy about it. But I guess we could do, so a waste transfer facility uses garbage trucks to collect and temporarily store garbage. Stored waste can be picked up by waste transfer trucks from waste processing complex. The building pollutes less, so it can be built closer to the city center. It does actually pollute a fair bit less, which is nice. I'll tell you what, let's do one of those guys. So that's the transfer facility. And then next to it, let's do a recycling center. And then let me go ahead and bring a road sort of back here, right? And we'll bring that road sort of, I guess to about there is fine. In that space, I want to do a parking lot because of course I do. It fills up that space pretty nicely. So we'll just go for there. We'll actually bring that road down a little bit and do the parking lot up to about there. And then what we can go ahead and do as well is probably do something like an incineration plant, or actually we could do 2 recycling centers back to back there. We could technically get another one there, and we can technically get another one there. That actually worked out really nicely in terms of recycling centers, which makes me kind of happy. So let's do this, right? So that gives us space for obviously another parking lot, which is interesting, I guess. I guess that's something we're having in here. And I'll just use move it to sort of shuffle it along a little bit. And that one's fine. And I would put some trees in there, but I don't think trees are a very good idea for this particular space. It's not going to be great for them. So let's have a look and see what I can put in there. We have a bunch of props we can play with. We'll go for something kind of industrial looking. So let's go for, I don't know, let's go for like a truck, maybe. I don't know. I guess we can put a couple of trucks just sort of tucked back here. Hold on a minute. What if I painted this with concrete? That is a thing we can do, and it actually doesn't look terrible. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and we'll throw a truck, say, I guess, there, and we'll sort of do one at a bit of an angle just next to it like that. I don't like that they're exactly the same color, but that's probably fine. Oh, we could do these ones too. That's interesting. We could basically just do a little construction site here. We could do a construction site. Oh no. Oh no. I'm not going to do a construction site right now because I'll be here all day if I do a little construction site, but I might come back to this and I might do a little construction site. Let's throw a little generator here. We'll throw a skip, I guess, next to it. And I don't really have any other ideas for what we can put next to this. We'll do some sort of like wood here, and we'll do a little bit of wood there as well, just to make it look like something might be going on in that space. But that, I think, will be a pretty good addition to everything. And what we can do with this as well is if I use move it, I can grab this guy, and that'll give us an extension of power, which is great news. So we'll bring that sort of down the highway a little bit, and we should have power connections. There we go. So all of those garbage trucks can head out. They can do their thing, and that's going to be hopefully great for the airport and the city and everything like that. I know that having all those service vehicles in one area is probably going to be a bit of a nightmare for traffic, but I think we'll be okay. Give them a little bit and they'll figure out where they got to go. But you know, right now they're definitely having trouble. And these are really cool looking trucks. I like those a lot. I really do. I really like those a lot. So we'll we'll let them sort of filter out into the city. There's so much traffic right now, but we'll let them sort of do their thing. As for this little space here, I don't really know what to put on it. I don't want to just throw anything touristy there, and I don't want to throw too much that's going to attract people to this area. So let's just have a little bit of a look through, because I guess we could do warehouses. I guess a medium warehouse wouldn't look out of place down here. And technically I can get two right next to each other, but they do overlap there, so let's not do that. We can get this little one though. And I guess we could do a little one sort of, let's see, can I get one there? I can. So I guess we could do a couple of little warehouses. And I kind of like that, actually. I do kind of like the idea of just having some warehouses here. So let's do, I don't really know what's put in here. Let's do unique factory products. Let's do commercial zones, I guess. It doesn't really make too much sense, but we'll do it anyway. This would kind of make more sense near this really would make more sense near a cargo airport, but whatever. We'll do some unique products there, and we'll do some unique products there. And I don't know if those warehouses are actually ever going to fill up, but I'm not really too concerned about it. I just kind of wanted something. Actually, no, I don't. I don't want those ones. I want this one, but I don't want the other two there. And we'll just extend this road up a little bit and level it all out, and that's fine. So that looks okay to me. Because what I can do is I can come in here and I can just level this terrain a little bit so it looks a little bit less sort of built up for the factory. We'll bring this sort of out a little bit, bring that to there, and you know, do all this kind of stuff so it just looks a little bit more natural. A couple of trees on there and that'll look fine. So that's just essentially something I wanted to do. I just wanted to get something in that space, which I think if I put some trees around it, it just looks the part near the airport. You know, I think it just looks kind of cool having this right here. It's not, you know, it's by no means super cool looking, but it's just going to serve that purpose and sort of be just a little industrial space there. And to be totally honest, I was actually slightly tempted to go in the Steam Workshop and get some car dealership assets and put them sort of out here as well, because you usually see those near airports. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that before. So I will say, if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing, do let me know, because I'm still slightly reluctant to get too many different things from the workshop. I know there's a lot of things in this Skyline that are from the workshop, but there's, you know, I haven't gone too crazy with assets yet, and I'm sort of holding off on doing that. So, you know, let me know your opinion. Basically, I would certainly be curious to hear about it. Now, let's take a look and see what we can do here. That's maybe the right size for that, but I want to see what kind of walls or keys we'd be sort of working with here. This right here actually might not be terrible. Can I extend it like that? I absolutely can. So let me grab this. Let me copy it. And let me put it right about, I think right about there. So that should be fine. And I'm pretty sure, yep, we can lower this down. And what we can do is bring it so it is, and I'm gonna need to, I need to level it is what I need to do. So bring it to that height and then bring it down. So it's about there. And to me, that actually sort of looks the part. That kind of does the thing that I wanted it to do. So I think if I just go grab you and extend it out like this, and we grab that node, grab that node and grab that node, level them all to that height, that does basically do what I wanted to do. And I think I'd be inclined to bring this up a little bit, so it's a little bit more of a noticeable wall, because then I can bring it back to about there. And I need to grab another node in there I totally forgot about. But if I do this, that didn't actually level them though. Leveled object height there. You can all be deleted, and then you can be brought forward. And I think that kind of looks okay. It's not pretty, right? It's not gonna be pretty though. It's not gonna be a good looking thing. It's a dividing wall to break up a industrial space from a highway. And if anything, I'd be tempted to turn it into this one that actually has the dividing wall on top of it, because that to me looks a little bit better. So let's bring this right up to, I don't know, right up to here. And if I just go ahead and grab all the nodes on this, I should be able to level them all to that height. And it just becomes a wall that runs alongside the highway as the highway gets higher. And I think that looks kind of cool. Okay, so now I guess oh no. Now I need to wrap it around all of this. Okay, that's going to be slightly annoying, but I guess I'm going to do it. Okay, so I gotta be honest, this looks weird. It seems like an unnecessary amount of wall for this entire space. It's definitely definitely weird. I don't know how I feel about it. It just seems really unnecessary, but I kind of like it at the same time. It's something a little bit different. So I'm kind of gonna approve of it, I think. And what I can also do with it is I can go in and bring the terrain sort of up a little bit higher around here. So it's sort of against the wall a little bit, which I kind of like. So something like that, I guess it kind of works. You know, the terrain dips down at the wall a little bit, but it's noticeably a drop there. So it's kind of interesting. But I think what I'm just going to do is, you know, bring the size of this down a little bit, and we're just going to start painting some trees in here, because I think the better thing to do is just cover the area in trees and be done with it. Because there's really not a lot to do with this particular space. I'm not really wanting to spend too long making it super fancy or anything. It's kind of just a little throwaway thing to have some services back there. So we'll do that, and I think, you know, make sure that cliff is nice and visible, sort of take out some of those trees, and I think that's fine. I think, you know, you got the trees, you got the wall, you got the garbage facility back there, and that's hopefully going to do good for everything. It's in kind of a cool place. Now, something else I did do between episodes was I came in and I put this key along here, because I'm thinking what we're probably going to do is we are probably going to want to start building in here. And I really like this idea, because we have the key running, you know, under the bridge here, and it means we can put some stuff under there, which I'm really excited to do. But I'm also kind of excited to come in here and just continue this particular key right here, because it can pretty much come over to about there, and we can pretty much divide this entire area and just cut it right down the middle, which I don't know that I'm going to appreciate myself for doing this, but I kind of like the idea. I like the idea that we have this more sort of flat space up here, and we can divide it. We can just sort of have tunnels and things like that. I just think it's going to look interesting. I think it's a little different. It's just a little something. So, you know, why not, basically? We'll just flatten this out as best we can, and I'll just bring it back to about there, and then essentially all of this is just going to get hit by a smoothing brush to, you know, make it something we can kind of nicely build on. And down here can kind of be hit by a smoothing brush too, because I kind of want it to be on a hill. So that looks fine to me. But before we get to that, I did mention that I wanted to do something with this space over here, because I remember, I don't know if it was on the last episode or where it was necessarily. It might have been on Discord. Someone mentioned that I'd completely forgotten about this space, and you are completely right. I sort of did. I sort of did completely forget about this space and completely forget to change it up and use it the way I'd intended to use it. So I came out and I placed down this oil drilling platform, which moves around a terrifying amount. Now, I don't know anything about oil rigs and platforms, so I would imagine they have a little bit of sway and a little bit of movement to them, because skyscrapers have that, right? And, you know, that's because of the wind. They have just a teeny little bit of, you know, sway to them, which is terrifying to think about, but they do. I would imagine oil rigs would probably have a little bit of, you know, movement to them, but I can't imagine it being this much. It's terrifying. I'm not big on water is all I'm getting at. Anyway, now we have that placed, and this is how I decided to connect it. Just a little road going up to that because it wasn't actually connected to roads before, and I kind of like it. This guy produces 14,896 units per week. You're producing 8,000. So we're actually producing a crazy amount of oil from all of this. I gotta be honest though, I want rid of pretty much all of these. And actually the quickest way to do this is going to be to just grab buildings and delete that way. Because these guys were all temporary. None of these buildings, none of these oil drilling rigs or whatever were ever really going to stay. They were all completely temporary. So I want rid of all of those. And honestly, what I'm kind of inclined to do is go into here and grab another one of the platforms, because we can absolutely do it. And I kind of want to. And that actually lined up pretty well, almost perfectly. So if I just shuffle it sort of this way a little bit, and what I can also do is go in and grab this guy, bring that road sort of straight across. Although I don't think it's going to go central, thinking about it. But that's, I guess, kind of okay. Yeah, I don't think that is. I don't know if the entranceway is actually central on this. Oh, wow. Have I got this thing way off? So it lines up with... Have I got it way off? I'm not actually sure. So it lines up there. I think I have. I think what it needs to do is sort of come over this way a little bit. And I need to do it this way. So I think it needs to go to about there. And then it kind of lines up with that line, which is pretty good. So that's fine. Let me grab it and level it to that height. So it's the same height. And then it looks like they line up. So that's good. This, I kind of want to come out a little bit. So I want that to come out to, if it would work, right about there. And then I can just grab that. And we can just sort of extend it sort of to there. Obviously raising it up to that height again. And bringing it up to about there. Probably bring it out a little bit further. And to there. And that looks fine. So now we have these two platforms. Which I think this one's further. I think this one's closer than that one. But regardless, that looks kind of cool to me. If a little bit maybe unrealistic. And I'm very tempted to put a third one in there. But I'm not going to. Well, maybe I will, if I can. And I actually can. So, let's put that road back in here so we can sort of measure the middle point. And let's just do this. And that's very nearly where I wanted it to be. So, about there, I think it needs to go ever so slightly to the right. So, about there. And that looks pretty good. So, if we use move it to grab this guy. So, you... no, wait, move it. Buildings, you, and down, down to that height. This little section of road can just get extended to there and leveled to that height. So there we go. So that gives us 3 offshore rigs, all of which can produce a good amount of oil. And then that gives us this space in the middle where we can go ahead and put, you know, a petrochemical plant there. A petrochemical plant there. We can get a petrochemical plant there. And we can get one there. And, well, if anything, it probably would have made more sense to put these guys in here, but whatever. Let's do there for these tanks. And let's do there for some tanks. And that kind of looks okay. I'd almost be inclined to turn them around, the other way, but I think I've got zoning turned off on that road. So let me just very quickly go in and turn zoning. No, it is on that road. Why can't I turn these guys around? That's kind of weird. Whatever. I guess they're going to live like that. I guess I could have used move it. And I guess they kind of work okay there. Why can't I put you on that road? Cannot build on water. Really? It's not. Okay. It's not really on water though. I can do it on that side. Can I... Can I grab you and then put you there? No, cannot build on water. That's a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. There ain't no water there, as we can kind of clearly see. But sure. I guess we'll have them rotated this way. And that seems fine. Now, what else do we have for the oil? We have large tank farms, which as it turns out are quite large. But we have a couple of those over there already. What else do we have? So we have let's see, the petrochemical plants make plastics. This also makes plastics and is a pretty good size. So I'm almost tempted to say that we get 2 of these guys just to try and fill up the space, just to make it look like there's a lot going on out here. And then the waste oil refining plants, those are actually remarkably small, which is surprising, if anything. What else have we got? What do you do? So that's just a storage cavern. These guys are really tiny, these little buildings here. I'm genuinely sort of surprised at how small they are. So let's do a couple of them up there. And that'll be fine. This guy apparently needs water, so there you go. And then what we can go ahead and do is essentially take the oil out of that entire sort of middle space, because we're not actually needing to get oil from that anymore. So it now looks like that. But what I'd be very tempted to do as well is essentially go in there and pave almost this entire thing. It's really tempting to do that because, well, essentially it probably would be. We'd also probably have more tanks in here than we currently have. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to put some tanks there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use move it. I'm going to duplicate you. And, well, I wonder if I could get some tanks back there. Can I bring a road out here? I absolutely can. So if I did that, can I grab you? No, I can't really put it there, but I could maybe. No, I can't really get one there either. I could get one there for some more tanks. So I guess we're just going to, I want to fill this space up with different things. I think what I might do is actually make these guys a little bit offset so that they are, you know, more of the space is just sort of filled up. Because then I can do something small in here. Like I could go in and do one of these little guys, or, well, we can't really do the pumps anymore, but we can do something kind of small in there, and I can probably make it work if I just move it down by 1 or move it down by 2. That might just create a bit of a bigger gap, but whatever. Let's see. So move you to there. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of fine. I guess we could grab another one of these large factory looking things here and do a third one if we wanted to, or I could just do a warehouse. I can't do a large one. I can't do a medium one. I can do a couple of the smaller ones though. So let's do petroleum and let's do plastics. That seems like it'd be a pretty good idea. And I guess that kind of works out. So I'm gonna just let this do its thing, is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go too crazy with what's going on back here. Wow, we have a lot of things here. I'm not gonna go too crazy with trying to bring the oil production way back up, and I'm probably gonna have to take out some of the factories and stuff like that. But I want to come back and do more with this a little bit later on. Which, by the way, another thing I forgot to point out was a new train line. This train line basically runs across everything. It goes into the tunnels and it just connects to the main station right there. And then it actually goes out. It's this line here that goes out to the region. So technically speaking, that is another regional connection. I don't know if it gets used, but it exists. So that's fine by me. Now, what are you complaining about? Oh, the waste train. Ah, yes, that was what I meant to do down here. Okay. That's actually what I think this space is going to be. So let's come in here. Let's take out these parking lots. Let's take out that road. Take out all of you guys. Can I get this fella? It'll fit within all those roads though. So if I take all of this out, take you out, take one of these guys out, take all of this out, we can fit this thing here. And that seems like a pretty good space for it. So no complaints from me. Let's also go ahead and... do these guys fit back to back? They do. Okay. So let's take this road out. Take those parking lots out. And as much as I want to keep this large tank here, I feel like what might be better to do... I mean, if I can... would it fit in the middle? It actually would. So what we can do is we can just bring one of these roads up here. And then we can go ahead and just put this guy sort of right in the middle. And I'll bring a road up behind it. And we'll connect this guy to there. And that actually gives us a little bit of room for a couple of these little... no, actually, yeah, it does. It gives us room for a couple of these little guys on either side. So that looks pretty good to me. That actually works out. And then that means that this guy is going to send out some... those are oil trucks. But this guy's eventually going to send out some of these guys. These large waste transfer trucks. So they're heading out and they're going to go... well, they're collecting garbage. So they're going to end up going to, I would imagine, this guy up here, which is currently full. So that's kind of good. That's going to give us a little bit of traffic flow from, you know, way over here to way over here. And that's something I'm liking with Nerdköping. I'm liking that with the region, that we have all this traffic flow. But what I'm really noticing is just an abundance of not enough workers. We don't have enough uneducated workers. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to start building up this area here. And I'm very tempted to say Hamilton Heights is going to be an area that, while it has an IT cluster, we're probably also going to go in and say, you know what, let's just say that you are going to have the schools out policy, which means the citizens will prefer working over education and only a small portion of the eligible citizens will go to study in the university. Interesting. That this might not apply the way I think it does, but regardless, it'll be fine. Where did my key go? Where? Huh. Did I must have had it still select. Oh. I don't know where that's... I did place it. I don't know where it's gone. Unless I had it selected and I've accidentally, like, sank it way under the map. But, that is definitely a little bit worrying, but whatever, I guess. Let's go ahead and put a new key in here. So bring it up to there, bring it straight out. And bring it sort of under there, I guess. Actually, I can just sort of run it straight to... what we can do is grab this guy. We'll grab all of it. And we'll level it out. And then I'll adjust it to be exactly where I want it to be. So grab all to that height. Then this guy... I want to just extend it to there. So it's kind of ending in that pillar. And then essentially all I need to do is level it to that height. And... that looks fine to me. So with that in place, I want to bring this road all the way over to here. And we'll turn off road guidelines while I do this, because I want it to go right up to, we'll say here for now. And then I want to grab a road and bring it down in line with you. So they're going to connect like this. And essentially what I can do with all of this is I can put a bunch of buildings along the train line there, so they're not even going to see the train lines. Anyone that lives in those buildings is very, you know, they're going to be aware of the train lines, but that's about it. So we'll do that sort of thing. We can do something nice down here, and what we can also do is bring this avenue through here, so it can go essentially like that. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it just sort of ends right there though. So what we might need to do is actually continue that road and turn this guy into an avenue itself, which is maybe a little bit weird, that this sort of large avenue sort of goes down into a smaller avenue. Well, sort of avenue. But that's kind of okay. I'm not really too stressed about that. And to be totally honest, all I really want to do with this space is turn it into somewhere that people can kind of live. So let's do a road there. Let's do a road. Not a huge fan of the fact that it's going to have that pillar in it, but we'll do it there anyway. And let's do a road right about here. And you know what? We'll actually just shorten that road so it doesn't go right up into the pillar. And you need to be on ground level. So that's going to give us room for more commercial zoning, which is definitely demanded. And then essentially what I'm thinking is we can really just go ahead and kind of do this, right? Just make it kind of a fairly urban-ish area. And by that, I mean it's just going to have grids in it. I'm not really against doing that. I don't really mind this area having grids because I think it's going to look better since we're going for more, we're going to try and go for more just apartments and stuff like that anyway. I want it to be a relatively dense part of the city. And I'm using these roads here on purpose, by the way, that have the grass, because I am going to put a multi-story parking lot in here. And I think that can probably go, well, it actually fits in there really nicely. It doesn't really fit in there. So sure, let's do a modern parking garage. We've got a bunch of them in this area. Let's actually just do it over here. So it's a little bit further away from everything. That way, you know, it's not right next to 3 of them. But that seems fine. So let's actually divide this up. Let's not have this all be a single district. So we're going to bring this down. We're going to cut out this bit. And what we're going to do is bring this sort of down the train lines down to about here. And we're going to paint it onto all of these roads. And we're going to paint it onto this one as well, but we'll have to take it off that road because I don't really want the policies applying, but we'll do all of this. And then, you know, take it off of here, take it off of this guy, and we'll take it off of the train lines as well. So they're going to come back like this. It's a little bit messy. Definitely something I probably want to fix. I don't think this actually snaps to train lines at all, so we'll just have it snap to the intersections of the train lines. And I guess that's probably about as neat as that's gonna get. It could be better, but it'll do for now. Actually, what I can do is fill up that space and then just do this. Wow, that really didn't work. That just snapped. Ah, it looks terrible. All right. We're going to ignore how terrible this looks. But what I want to do with this is I want to say modern city center. But see, the thing with modern city center is I think that's going to give me... No, I know what we're going to do. Modern city center plus self-sufficient housing, which is maybe a bit silly for an area that's also going to have schools out, but that'll be fine. So schools out, we'll do a Parks and Rec boost, recycling, whatever, everything's fine. We have this in here. We have some weird spaces that I'm going to need to do some stuff with, but what I can do is fill up those spaces with commercial zoning, fill up these spaces with residential zoning. I think this space can be filled up with commercial as well. I think take those bits out. And I think we can do this space with commercial zoning. And then, I'm kind of inclined to say these bits as well. And I'm kind of inclined to say that bit too. And this guy. Which honestly has me wanting to do a bit of a cut in this road here. And then turn off zoning on that bit. So that we can go ahead and have all this commercial zoning come up to here as well. We'll do this. And we'll do this. I don't know if those bits will actually build, but I just want to try and get a good bit of commercial in here. I know that's more commercial than anything else. So maybe what we do is well, no, I think that's fine. We'll have sort of a cluster there surrounded by the modern city center buildings. That'll be okay. Actually, we'll also do the same here. We'll do that as residential. So that's fine. That area is going to need pipes though. So let's go ahead and get that done nice and quickly. Just as it starts building, they're going to start complaining, but they'll be okay. So bring you just straight through there. Bring you straight to there. And let's see, bring this guy up to there and there. And these guys can all sort of fill up all of this space as well. So that's the entire area nicely covered in pipes. That's the area nicely building up. That's a bunch of cool looking buildings going in there as well. Nicely along the train tracks too, which I adore. So let's go ahead and get some buses. Let's just do something with the buses. Because as it stands, this is the main road into the area. So how do the buses work right now? They go up to there. Okay. I don't know that I want them going up to there anymore. Or rather, well, maybe I do. It's a relatively popular route. So what if we did... Let's see. So wait, what way do these work? Hold on. Let me see. So they come out here. So take that stop away. And they stop there. So take that stop away as well. So they stop there, they go up that way. What if we had them come out and go like this? So the buses come out and stop there. The buses then stop, say, there. The buses then have a stop there. And then they're going to have another stop over here. Which is maybe a little bit weird. It is actually very weird the way these buses kind of want to work. I'm not so sure about why they're doing all this weirdness. But we'll have them stop there. And then I guess what we can also do is say that this guy can go there and there. This guy can only go there. And that should stop the bus from, yeah, doing weird stuff. So it comes out, it loops around, it does its thing, it goes to the stops it needs to go to. It doesn't go over there anymore, which perhaps it still wants to do. I like that I'm talking about this bus as though it's a sentient thing. Maybe the bus does want to go this way. I'm not so sure about this. It just seems a little unnecessary to have it U-turn like that. So we're not going to do that. We'll just have it go into here. And I'm kind of okay with that. So it loops around, it does its thing, and it, you know, services this new area, which is kind of lovely. The other reason I want to boost residential zoning, though, in case you forgot, is because when we get 65,000 people, we get the Metropolitan Airport, which I am so excited about because it's going to look so good over here. So that'll be fantastic to have. It's going to be kind of cool having this new area up and running as well. And also, in case it wasn't obvious, I have ever so slightly given up on caring too much about traffic right now. It's 74%, which is all right, but it is backing up in a lot of places. There's just, I don't want to say there's a lot of it. There's just, you know, my road layouts are not ideal, and I know that. It's just how they are. It's fine. We'll deal with it and fix it eventually. I'm not really going to stress about it too much. This, by the way, this looks excellent. This is exactly what I love about these modern city center buildings. They look so good. They're such great looking buildings. I absolutely adore them. More of this. More of this right here, please. Those are such good looking buildings. I genuinely I can't express how much I adore those buildings. They look absolutely fantastic. Now, how are people doing with these buses? There's a couple of people waiting there. Oh, this whole area doesn't have power. Are we low on power? Should we be low on power? Why would we be low on power? Where am I? I guess oh, you know what it might be? I'm generating a lot of power out here, and it is actually all connected. Oh, hold on a minute. This whole area is generating a lot of power as well. So that, are we really running low on power? Can I just up the budget? Yeah, I can. So if we just increase the power budget, yeah, so there we go. We're fine now. That seems like a better idea. Just kind of increase the power budget rather than anything else. It kind of seems like the way to do it. But this is actually kind of good. So this is going to start obviously builds the city out a little bit further to kind of being roughly the size I want it to be. I do want to still build up this space so we have buildings right opposite the London Eye. And I think, I'm kind of inclined to say that we will probably build out into this space here, and that's probably about as far as the city's going to go. So we might need to do some kind of low-rise buildings out here. So more of the modern city center stuff and some high-rise bands and things like that. I think I might do exclusively modern city center out here just to make it look like they're much smaller. And then probably just trees, because I really, as much as I feel we should do some suburban stuff around the city, it's gonna start bringing us really close to the town, which might not be the worst thing in the world if I do put a sort of a big forest in there. Maybe we will do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think my priority, though, is going to be filling up that space, and then we'll probably get enough people to get the Metropolitan Airport, and then we're going to focus on that for a little while. But I'm happy with this. I really like how this region's sort of just coming together. It's sort of a mix of everything I've done in the City Skylines up to this point in the last 6 years nearly. It's, you know, a little bit of creative here and there, just a bit of management here and there, a bit of playing here and there. But there's still a lot of stuff still to do as well, and I'm just really enjoying this. I do want to finish this industrial area. I want to get more factories in there and all that good stuff. I want to fill in some of these gaps as well, because we have a few of them in weird places. I want to fill that in, fill this in, get the airport in. And then at some point, I still need to do this. I still haven't gone back and actually manually placed all these buildings again. I'm not looking forward to doing it. It's not going to be an episode that I do it in either, so I'm not really super stressed about it. But we'll see how that goes, I guess. And I was about to sort of move towards wrapping up the episode, but I just noticed we had a bunch of demand there for residential. So let's just get that kind of out of the way, I guess. I also don't know why the angle on this is so weird. So let's just have you come straight across to there. And let me just level that out, because I kind of feel like that's probably for the best. I was going to use the slopes here, but I'm kind of just inclined to flatten it. And I'm kind of just inclined to say that, you know, the area has just been flattened, right? So bring all this down to a nice manageable height. We'll bring the size and strength up a little bit. So flatten all of this out, and that'll kind of, you know, give us more space for more residential zoning. So let's go ahead and update these roads so that they have their zoning, and let's just go ahead and start bringing more of these roads down here. We'll bring them down to there. Actually, they don't quite go that far. So this one can kind of go to about there. This one can kind of go to about there. This one can probably start coming in a little bit. So to about there. You're going to come in a little bit further. You're going to come in a little bit further again. You're going to go to about there. And you are going to go to about there. Now, this space underneath the bridge, I do want to do something with it. We're probably going to do some kind of park, and it'll probably be an actual park that people are going to want to walk around. But this right here is just fantastic for zoning. It really is. It's just a big old grid is all it's going to be. We can bring a bus out here. We should honestly just put a metro out here if we don't have one already. I feel like that's something I've seen it in the comments, and I've seen on Discord as well, is just, hey, why don't you just put a metro in areas like this? So to be honest, that might very well be something we do. So let's see. Do we have... Oh, we don't have metro out here. We really don't have metro out here. Good Lord. Okay. I feel like we should. But for the time being, what I'm going to do is just extend the bus stops out to there. And then out to about there. And that should be fine. We'll just sort of extend them out. Buses can go back and forth. No big deal. And district-wise, I'm actually going to say the same thing. It's not going to be Hamilton Heights. It can just be the same as the other ones. So Oriental Hills is kind of a fine name as far as I'm concerned. So bring this down. We'll sort of bring it along the quay as much as we possibly can. Apparently, I'm not very good at painting districts today, which is fantastic news. But we'll just fill all of this up and we'll extend it to about there. Bringing it straight down, back along the quay, and just chopping it off of that road right there. We don't have an old town policy, so we don't actually need to take it off the roads, but I just like it to be neat, as you very well know. So just chop it back like that, and that's a little bit neater than it was, I suppose. So that'll kind of work, and that'll do. So let's just go ahead and fill that up with residential zoning. Exact same thing that we've had the entire, you know, way through that space. Just a bunch of residential zoning. I'll put some paths in there at some point, and we'll actually make this look like a nice waterfront at some point as well. But for the time being, this is just fantastic. And actually looking at it, we kind of need to do one little thing here. We need to grab all of these nodes, and we need to make sure that they're all the same level, because right now I don't think they are. So to that level right there. In fact, what might be easier is that level right there. So now they are all on the same level. All the buildings will be built on the same level as well. And actually thinking about it, we probably do want to throw in one little thing here, and it's going to be another one of these multi-story parking lots, because, well, actually, do we want to do multi-stories, or do we want to just do some sort of, yeah, we're going to do multi-story, is what we're going to do. I don't really want to put it right down there at the end. I think putting it sort of right here in the middle, and then maybe doing some kind of park behind it or something like that might not be a terrible idea. So what about you? You fit in there really nicely. Do I want to cut away? Yeah, you know what? I do actually want to cut away from the buildings. So that works kind of nicely. We'll have buildings here. We'll have buildings here. We'll have this sort of bit in the middle that's cut out, and that's fine. So this looks fine to me. It's actually potentially going to give us the population that we want. We've got 1,800 people in there already, and those numbers are only going to climb. The only thing I worry about is the access to that area is from pretty far away. You know, you need to use this road here and then go down into the tunnel and out here and across, or this roundabout down here onto this road, which might be its own bit of hassle. But we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully public transport serves a pretty good job out here. Hopefully people actually opt to use the public transport rather than anything else. But that, I think, is going to look pretty cool. Especially from here, because you're just going to have this view across of the parks and the buildings and all of that good stuff. And what we've got as well is a bunch of high-rise buildings here and then a bunch of small ones here. So it just makes the high-rise ones look even bigger. I'm just happy about this. I got to be honest. I'm just happy about this. I like that the city's coming together. I like the population's climbing, and I'm so excited for this metropolitan airport. I'd say I can't even begin to tell you, but I've been telling you for 2 episodes now. So hopefully next time we maybe get started on it.